Hey guys, Krishankanak here. I'm coming to you today with an almost should be finished item, but not finished because I'm having trouble with it, and a bit of a yarn haul. So, first things first, in my last video I said I was working on a mermaid blanket for my younger daughter. I have made one in the past for my older daughter. Here it is right here. I can't show the whole thing. It is very, very large, made out of Bernat blanket yarn. So, I mean, I can pull it up this way so you can see just how long it is. And then there's the tail. So I made one for my younger daughter. However, it turned out not quite as large. The length doesn't feel as long for some reason. Although it is almost pretty much the same length. But the actual major problem is the width. For some reason, it turned out several inches narrower than the first mermaid blanket I made. So you can see here, it is this much longer, which that is not okay. Some of the larger size, I guess, can be attributed to use over time. I did make this mermaid blanket, I think, about 3 or 4 years ago now. No, less than that. No, it would have been about 3 years ago because I didn't make one for my younger daughter at the time because she was still a baby and wouldn't have really understood it. So some of it could be stretch from use over time, but not that much stretch. So I guess I don't know. I guess I crocheted a lot tighter with this one. But that is a huge difference. I do not understand how I crocheted tight enough to make that much of a difference. That's a lot. So also it must be mostly the tightness of my stitching because I ended up with this much yarn left over. It's like half a skein left over. And when I made the first one, I did not have this much left over. I had like a little strand left, nowhere near this much. So, also the tail, here's half of it. The other half fell on the floor. The tail, because this ended up so much narrower, the tail was gigantic. And I couldn't sew it on properly because it was way too big. It's also even bigger than the tail on the first mermaid blanket somehow. I don't understand what happened. I even removed a couple of rows from each side of the tail. Here's the other side here. It goes this way. You're supposed to stitch it together and then stitch it onto the blanket. It was much wider than this. I took out 2 rows from each side of the tail, so it was actually like this wide before. And I took it out, and it's still way too big for the bottom of this blanket. So my plan now, I've already seamed it up because this is made in like one wide piece, and then you seam it up the side to make a tube. So it's already seamed up. So now my plan is I'm going to take the seam out, and even though it's originally stitched back and forth, I'm going to take the seam out and try to stitch another couple rows lengthwise and then seam it up again, and hopefully I can get it close to the size of the other blanket. I don't know. We will see. And I'm not sure if this is going to be enough yarn to make it as wide as the other blanket, so I might need to order another skein of yarn, and these are getting expensive. Back when I bought the yarn for this 3 years ago, the Bernat blanket yarn was $11.97 Canadian, and these days in most stores it is between $14 and $15.97 now. So I really don't want to have to spend $15 on another skein of yarn, but we will see. And I need to get that done quickly because I need to get a move on winter stuff for my kids that they're going to need soon. The cold weather is coming. And Christmas presents. I need to get a move on Christmas presents. I don't want to be struggling close to Christmas again. Speaking of which, I do have a bit of a yarn haul. for my Christmas presents. I mentioned in a previous video that I was going to make shawls for 3 ladies in my my husband's side of the family, and I have been looking all over for a decent shawl yarn. I wanted a finer yarn so that I would have a shawl with more drape, but then me with a fine yarn, no. I did look at a lot of fine yarns and I was very close to buying some, and then I was like, no, let's be realistic. It's gonna be really frustrating for me, and it's gonna take a lot longer than I need it to take. So I went to Michael's to have a look around to see what they carry. I looked around everywhere online. I couldn't find anything I liked, and I hadn't been to Michael's in a while, so I went to Michael's just to see what they had. And I found this Karen blossom cakes, and it's a very soft yarn. It is it says a 4 worsted weight, but it's a very thin 4, and it is an acrylic cotton blend, 61% cotton, 39% acrylic, and it does have a bit of a halo, which kind of makes it look really pretty. It's very soft. And from the pictures I've seen and the sample I saw in the store stitched up, which is going to turn out to look really nice. Hopefully it has as much drape as a finer yarn. I don't know, we will see. And I'm not exactly sure how much I would need in this, so I got 2 skeins of each color. So I got 2 skeins in Caribbean Sea. That is blues and purples, or light blues and dark blues. It almost looks purple, but I think it's just dark blue. So it's various blues. And then I got 2 skeins of Tropical Blooms. So it's like pinks and oranges and yellows. Kind of a little bit purple. Very light purple. You can see the colors there. I hope there's enough light in here, but I'm having a lot of trouble with lighting in this house. And then I also got 2 skeins of Blossoms. It's just called Blossoms. It's various purples and pinks. Mostly purples, I think. Purpley, pinky swirls. So as I said, these were from Michael's. From what I can tell, from what I found online, these are Michael's exclusive and limited edition. I have no idea how long Michael's plans to have them for. From reviews I've seen from other yarn YouTubers, these came out earlier this year, like around March, I think. February, March. Or at least in the US. I am in Canada. I don't know when they came out here, and they are still out here. I don't know if they're still out in the US. Probably. And they are 481 yards, 8 ounces, 227 grams. And these, I don't remember how much they were in US dollars, but in Canadian dollars, they were like $14.97, which is a little more than I would like to spend on a skein of yarn. But here anyway, I don't know about the US, but here recently, Michael's had been having a buy 2 get 1 free sale. So I bought 6, so I got 2 free. So yay for that. That made the splurge a little more bearable. So yes, I'm going to make 3 shawls out of that. I found a pattern I'm going to use that's mostly V-stitch, double crochet V-stitches. So it'll be kind of lacy-ish. So hopefully I don't have any trouble with that, but I need to start soon in case I do run into trouble so I can have time to work it out. So hopefully I will have at least a shawl begun by my next video to show you. But I do want to get started on hats for my daughters as well. I don't know which I'm going to start first when I finish the mermaid blanket. So many things. I don't know what I'm doing, but you'll find out in the next video, I guess. And also, while I was at Michael's, I found some yarn, because I mentioned a long time ago that I would like to make my daughter's ice cream cone back mitts. This is the Twinkie Chan's Crochet Abode a la Mode book, and she has ice cream cone shaped shower mitts in here, and I would like to make those for my daughters. And the yarns, I think most of the yarns in this pattern are discontinued, so I had to buy I found different yarns for the ice cream already, but I had a hard time finding the right color of cotton yarn for the cones. Most cotton yarns are either too like white or too dark, almost too brown. I couldn't find anything that was more tan. I've been looking for, I think, almost a year now. I finally found this. This is the Loops and Threads Everyday Cotton. It's still a little darker than I would like for an ice cream cone, but I think this is the closest I'm ever going to find. And I was tired of looking. I just wanted to buy some things so I could get that done. And it's not too dark. I guess it's not bad. It works. So this is Loops and Threads Everyday Cotton, 120 yards, 109 meters, 70 grams, 2.5 ounces. This is a size 4 medium weight cotton. Loops and Threads, I think, is the Michaels brand. And the colorway of this is, twine. So, slightly darker color, but it works, I guess, for an ice cream cone. And so I got 2 of these. I hope that's enough. I did not make note of exactly how much I need for that pattern, but it's a bath mitt. It shouldn't, like, this should do it, I think. If not, I can always go back to Michaels. I think this is like a regular thing they always carry, so. Yes, I got 2 of these. I think these were around $3.99 each Canadian. So I got a couple of those. And that is it for the yarn I bought. But this past weekend was my library's annual book sale. Every year they sell all the materials that they cull out of the collection, and people also donate their own materials to the sale. So I found 3 issues of Crochet World that the library called from their collection. So there's like library stickers all over the covers, but that's fine. So I found August 2019, February 2020, and April 2020. So these are a few that I had not, because I didn't have a subscription yet at that time, and I bought them occasionally when there were patterns I was interested in. But I don't think I bought these ones. So more for my collection. And I also found an issue of Defining Crochet. So, and the magazines at the sale are only 25 cents each, so over 25 cents. They are coming with me. All crochet magazines are coming with me. So I did find a few crochet books as well, but most of them, they were mostly clothing that I probably would never make. So, and I need to be careful with the money I am spending because the holidays is coming, and also we just generally don't have a lot of space in this house. I need to stop accumulating things. So I'm being a little more picky with the stuff I'm buying. So I left all the crochet books. There weren't that many. There were like, I think I found about 3, and they were mostly patterns that I would probably never make anyway. So yeah, so that is what has been going on with me with yarn. So I guess I better get going and get working on that blanket. I have to go pick up my kids from school in about an hour and a half, I think. Couple hours. So I better get some work done because when they get home from school, I cannot get work done. So yeah, so I think that is all for today. I hope everybody's been having a lovely October, and happy crafting.